Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's mayoral debate. We are coming to you live from Weazel Studios as the candidates for mayor take the stage to share their vision, discuss the issues, and answer the questions on voters' minds. This is a critical moment for our community as we look to the future. And tonight we'll offer a valuable opportunity to hear directly from those who hope to lead us into it. Now, Rosie will tell us about the debate rules.
The rules for this debate are simple. Each candidate will be introduced and given 30 seconds for their opening statements. We will then begin our rounds of questions, and each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer the question. If they go over the allotted time, they will be interrupted. Please be respectful of everyone's time, but don't forget that your time is your time. Make sure that you have your voice heard and present yourself how you want to be seen.
And with that, let's begin by welcoming our candidates.
Hello, Lucid City. I'm running for mayor because I believe we can build a brighter future together. My experience as deputy mayor in Liberty City and as an entrepreneur has taught me how to tackle challenges, foster connections, and make things happen. I'm committed to connecting our community between civilians, those involved in less than legal activities, and our DPS officials so that we may feel seen, supported, and valued. I'll also work to strengthen local businesses through a Chamber of Commerce, offering tax relief training and other resources. And I'll tackle inflation head on while fighting for higher wages for everyone. Together, we can make Lucid City thrive. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to the real Lucid City. You've been fed the same tired promises by the same politicians, clean the streets, lower taxes, blah, blah, blah. But let's be honest, the city doesn't need another suit with empty words. It needs a leader who understands how things really work. So here's my promise, no more pretending, no more weak leadership. If you want a mayor who's actually going to get things done, I'm not here to sell you a dream or make broken promises. I'm here to listen. Let's get this shit cleaned up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Lucid City. My name is Shirai Ryu, and I've got big dreams, bad jokes, and a plan. Mostly the first two, but hey, at least I'm honest. Now let's talk about what the city needs. We don't need another bland, cookie-cutting candidate who says, I care, but can't even care to even remember your name. No, we need someone bold, someone brave, someone who's not afraid to mix a little flair with their fairness. I'm running because I believe in real change. I'm not the kind that's jingling in your pockets while your taxes skyrocket. I believe in building a city where fun isn't a crime, where community means more than a neighborhood watch, and where our future isn't just a brighter, it's legendary.
And the first question will be for Dexter. All right, Dexter, how many holes is too many holes in a pair of socks before you throw them away?
For me, it ends up being two, probably. One just means you care about the socks. Two means you've gone too far.
Well, I grew up in a neighborhood where sometimes you didn't even have a pair of socks to put on. Walking around with a pair of shoes with no socks, blisters on the back of my heel. So, I'd say as long as those socks roll up my ankle, I'm gonna keep them.
Yeah, honestly, it's not about the amount of holes, but the size of the holes. You can have a lot of holes in your socks and they'll still be used the same way you could before. But when the hole becomes too big, that's when it becomes unusable.
All right, so for your second entry-level question, how many animal noises can you make, and which would you say that you're best at?
Great. I could do a wide range of animal noises, I think, to be honest. I mean, I'll take any request. What would be your favorite animal? And I'll give you my best impression.
I think I'm a big fan of walruses.
A walrus. All right.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never really been asked that question before. I haven't really counted. You know, give me an animal. I'll give it a go.
Pastor, how about you pick an animal this time?
How about a tiger?
A tiger. All right.
I think I'm with the rest of the candidates here. It's not something a topic I've ever really considered or counted. I'm not sure I'm willing to take requests, but there's a few. I don't know which one would be great or bad or whatnot, but cats, dogs. I don't know.
the heck? What is this?
What's that music?
Everybody get off stage. Everybody get off stage.
Everybody come up here. Come up here.
Everybody get off the stage. Oh, goodness. With the word dog, you have triggered a lightning round.
Okay, all the candidates can come up and take a podium for me. Okay, if you want to be the mayor of Lucid City, it is probably best that you know some basic knowledge about the city itself. So for the lightning round, we're going to ask you basic Lucid City knowledge questions. Buzz in when you think you have the answer. Do not buzz in until the question is complete. Is everybody ready?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Okay, so the first question is, can you name 2 businesses that are located in the city mall? Mr. Ryu?
Senior Buns and Doner Kebab.
All right.
All right. Second question. How much is the unemployment pay?
Mr. Cherry?
$10.
Correct. Next question. Who is the current owner of Weazel News? Mr. DiMaggio.
The one, the only, Mr. Thorin.
That is correct.
All right. Next, what major freeway do you take during the Lucid City driver's exam?
Mr. Cherry.
You take the Los Angeles Freeway into Sonora and then back.
That is correct. Okay. What island has a water park on it? Mr. Ryu.
Roxwood.
Correct answer.
Okay. Name 2 civilian jobs outside of the businesses.
Mr. Cherry.
Construction and window washing.
Correct. Next question. Can you name the weed stores in Lucid City? Mr. Ryu.
Puff Puff Pass. I'm not sure of the other one.
Okay. Does anybody want to buzz in with the other answer? Mr. Cherry.
Is it High Notes?
Is High Tunes.
High
is the
Tunes, sorry.
other weed store.
Up next, name a social media app.
Mr. Ryu.
Birdie.
Correct. And the last question for our lightning round. What brand of cigarettes smoke better than they taste? Mr. Cherry.
Redwood.
That is correct.
That's 100% correct. You guys can step off the stage now if you'd like. And while we work some TV magic, after a long, hard day working in the city, I know there's only one thing that really cools me down. That's the delicious taste of liquid gravy that you get from Redwood. Redwood cigarettes. It smokes as good as it tastes, and it tastes delicious. How will you make sure that our city's businesses stay open and can serve everyone at all times of the day?
So I actually want to introduce the event grants. I think some people are familiar with that. So what that is any business is able to apply for a grant, which will be provided by the government, and they're able to host events and maybe even raffles that are fully funded by the government, which would hopefully keep their customers running and the business open.
I think the issue with businesses being open at this time is twofold. There are more profitable means of making money in the city, and it is difficult for businesses to pay a living wage. We'll need to find a way to balance the economy so that external money makers are in line with the amount of money that a business can pay, whether that be grants, whether that be tax relief, whether that be any number of balance issues or support for businesses in balancing their books so they can better serve their employees.
Yeah, so I actually share a similar sentiment there, as Mr. Cherry stated. It's a simple question, and I think it's a simple solution. Staffing during the day and staffing during the late afternoon isn't a problem of, the type of people that are around that will take those types of jobs. It's the equal opportunities that arise around the city. If there's other means to make money that aren't in line with the profits that could be made while serving others in the food industry or these other businesses, what have you, then what incentive is there for them to work there at all? So I think what we need to do is look at bringing things to an even ground. I don't think it requires some silver tongue response. I think it's a simple question of just getting down to, what is the pay looking like in line with the other jobs and opportunities that are around the city. And that's going to take crunching some numbers. I'll admit I might not be a crazy number guy, but I think it's all about building the right team to do something like that. And I'm sure with an initiative like that, we have a lot of brains in the city that'll be glad to step up. And I look forward to bringing that team together and bringing the voice of this community needs.
So for our next question, are there any reforms that you plan to introduce to improve the police-civilian interactions in the city?
I think it's too early in the city at this time to really look towards reforms, per se. Reforms seem like you're saying one side is doing something inherently wrong and the other side is doing something inherently right, or vice versa. I think communication, I think shining a light on the problems that happen. We've seen some issues with the understanding of operational procedures at certain interactions, and being active as a mayor with the ethics board of the police department while staying open to the concerns of the community will allow for positive change, allow to make adjustments, and then allow us to pass laws that are necessary to refine those if they're needed.
I think in order to have any interaction, looked under a microscope in terms of police and civilians and criminals, the people of the city, it just comes down to accountability. And that accountability means police as well as criminals. I believe that people, regardless of the decision that they make on the way that they choose to make money, they should be held accountable in the way that they conduct themselves during an arrest, whether or not they take things to extreme measures. They should be held to an extreme accountability for that. I believe that if the regular crook decides that he wants to shoot at a cop just to avoid arrest, that person is out of control and needs to be held accountable. But at the same time, on the other foot, I believe that an officer that is strong with power and abusive of that, and that feels that he can just throw someone in a jail cell without having to answer to the rules himself, that also needs to be viewed. So at the end of the day, simple, just accountability on both sides. No reform, just simple accountability, and everybody doing what's right. Like I always say, we'll get this shit cleaned up.
Honestly, it was well said by both candidates. There's actually no need for reforms at this current time. It's too early to tell, and it is actually all about accountability. Both sides have their rights and wrongs, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, Dominic, do you plan to regulate monopolies or price gouging in essential services like fuel, repairs, and food?
No, I think that's ridiculous. I think, similar to our other question about businesses earlier, it's just going to come down to balancing. I think it's ridiculous to have a car repair that's going to get our civilians and our citizens to work cost just as much as a week's worth of labor. I think at the same time, though, the people that are standing around and making sure that they're available to repair these cars should also be, compensated. So again, it's just going to come down to balancing, and it's not an answer that any one of us candidates are going to be able to give anybody right now. But I think at the end of the day, it's important for everybody to know that it's something that's going to take a little bit of time, and it's something for us all to look at. People are going to have to speak up. People, as a citizen of this city, I encourage you, if I was to be mayor, to partner with me. I'm not going to make these decisions willy-nilly on my own. I want you to come together. I want to be the voice for the collective, right? So with that being said, I just encourage everybody to be a part of the change, because I think we all know that there needs some balancing, right? Like I always say, let's get this shit cleaned up.
Yeah, so when it comes down to regulating monopolies, there's not really much you could do. Mostly you could do is probably introduce a price cap to stop companies from, charging too much. I believe customers mainly go based on quality, especially when it comes down to like repairs and mechanics. People would go to the closest one rather than the cheapest. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, on the question of monopolies and regulation, I think the examples you chose were poor when thinking of monopolies. There are a number of repair shops. There are 13 or so restaurants open. There are a number of things out there for people. You can't really have a monopoly when each individual business is working as a group to try and make their own profit. But then you have things like, for an example, Click Lovers. They're the only business that can provide essential services, and they aren't open, not very often. To fight a monopoly such as that, you need to open up options for other businesses to compete or provide other businesses the resources to provide some of the services that are not being rendered by the individual business that holds that particular monopoly. I think other things to fight monopolies like that are, in the case of, say, just using Click Lovers, not meaning to pick on them, but having public charging stations for your phone so you don't have to rely on a battery being available for 1 hour a day at a business that's only open during that time. That's how you regulate a monopoly. You provide options. You don't just allow them to continue to stack cash because they're the only place that can do the thing that you need. Thank you.
As the mayor of Lucid City, you will be faced with many deadlines and tasks that are expected of you to bring forward positive change. Do you think that you will have issues meeting those deadlines the same way that you had issues meeting the deadlines of your candidacy?
No, I'm like I said, I understand my weaknesses, and I'm all about accountability. You know, there might have been deadlines, but that's because I was out there making sure that I was meeting the people. I didn't have time to sit around and push a paper and pen. I'm out there getting work done. So to those that might criticize that, I can understand. But it's all about, like I said, building a team. And I'll make sure I have some secretary that's ready to answer the phone and write letters if I need to while I'm out there making changes.
Shirai, the mayor is not only a strong political figure, but also the face of Lucid City. You were the only candidate on this stage that did not submit a campaign speech to Weazel News. And while there may be circumstances that cause this issue, you have not made it your priority to reach out to the public and make your stances known. Do you think Lucid City deserves a mayor that won't put forth effort to its citizens?
You know what? That's a good point. But in my fairness, the miscommunication was Weazel News' part. They tried to contact me many times, but I failed to do so due to some external factors. And although I did have the opportunity, I was really busy with external forces that was beyond my control.
We rely on the electoral process in Lucid City to make sure that the mayor is somebody that the people of the city support and will bring forward positive change. What would you say to someone who believes that you have an unfair advantage in this race due to your family voting for you?
Well, I can understand that some people might be concerned that my family would provide an unfair imbalance, but my family is not as large as some others, but that's not the question. The question is it unfair? I believe my family and my friends are only a small portion of the city. I've spent a lot of time over the last week trying to reach out through events to speak with the rest of the city, to find people and find what their interests are, let them know who I am and what my stances are. You can't be elected on the back of just a few friends and a large family. You have to be elected on the back of the civilians who trust your choices and the things that you want to do. And that's what I've tried to do. I've tried to be out there. I've tried to be available. And I've tried to make sure that it's not just my family or friends. It's the citizens of Lucid that elect me. Thank you. Mr. Rio, during the lead up to the candidate speeches and debate, you neglected to participate or use the proper channels to inquire about the process for each primary winner. How do we know going forward that you will take the role of mayor seriously since you did not take your candidacy seriously?
Yep, so as I previously stated, the whole speech part wasn't completely my fault. Weazel News did have a bit of miscommunication. And honestly, saying I didn't take it serious was kind of unfair. I have been out here talking to the community. Some of you may have seen me out on the streets, especially down at the mall. I've interacted with a lot of people, asked questions, what they'd like to see implemented, change in the city. And I've really been connecting with the citizens of the city.
Okay, Mr. Ryu, if you could stand up, stay at the stand. If you want to ask one of the questions you have prepared.
I have no questions prepared.
For Mr. Ryu here. So let's talk about the company that you keep, Mr. Ryu. Right? I came up here by myself. Mr. Cherry is a sharp-dressed gentleman with him. I appreciate the suit there, Mr. Cherry. But you, Mr. Ryu. Now, I'm no saint, I'll admit that. But at least I'm honest about who I am. You? Parading up here like you're some squeaky clean reformer. But look at your advisor with you. Like you pulled them straight out of a police lineup. So here's my question. Are these really the people that you're going to have whispering in your ear when you're making decisions for our city? Or should we just skip the middleman and let Scarface and Pablo Escobar write your policies?
Yeah, so these people he speaks of are former criminals. Yes, they are indeed. But let me ask you this. Who do you want running the city? The rich that have no idea what's happening, or the people that have been in the streets day in, day out, that have experienced this and have made the change of their life? Half my team, yes, I would admit it, they are former criminals, but they've turned their lives around. They have jobs now, just like you and me. Half of these people have been out on these streets. They know what it's like. They've suffered, and they're here to change it for you and for everyone.
My last question will be for Mr. DiMaggio. During your speech to the city, you spoke about the issues facing Lucid City. You talked about fixing the city by rolling up your sleeves and making things happen. What solutions are you offering to the issues facing Lucid City?
I'm a guy that's transparent. I don't have some plan written on the back of my hand about what I'm going to do. I think there's a big talk that needs to be had. I think the community needs to come together, and I think we need to have a large discussion about what the real problems are. I don't feel the same problems as some of you that are out there watching this. I've had a pretty decent life. Things have been pretty good for me. But when I'm at the apartments or I'm grabbing a burger, I hear the murmurs. I hear the whispers. Things are tough out there. So, sure, I don't have some fucking plan written down. But I'm the guy that's going to bring us all together and be the voice to the people that need to listen, to the people that can make a change. So I might not know what the problem is now, but that's for us to decide together, for us to partner as a union, as a community. So I might not be going up to bat and throwing out plans and decisions. I want to hear from you, and I want to be the voice of the collective. And I hope that you can trust me with that. Let's get this shit cleaned up. All right. Now, while we were in the dressing rooms, everybody had a dressing room except me. I'm a pretty humble guy. It's no big deal. I was in the hallway. And I don't like to air private conversations, but the people deserve to know the truth. Earlier tonight, behind closed doors, I couldn't help but overhear Mr. Cherry in a full-blown panic attack, talking about his anxiety. Now, I get it. Politics is stressful. But let's be real. If the debate prep green room has him sweating like a smuggler at the police station, how's he going to handle an actual crisis? When the ballers start a riot, or the MC blocks the highway, or some maniac in a jet starts strafing downtown? He's going to whisper, I never asked for this. Lucid City doesn't need a mayor who folds like a cheap suit at the first sign of pressure. So my question to you, Mr. Cherry, how do we know you won't completely shut down when this city actually needs you?
Oh, thank you, Mr. DiMaggio, for that insightful conversation of a private conversation with my friends before a big debate. Yes, I will admit, I did express that I had some slight anxiety because this is a very important moment in Lucid City. I know how hard this job is going to be. 10 years ago, I had experience in politics. I know what needs to be built. We may not need plans and be transparent, supposedly, but you know what? If you have at least a bit of a plan when you start, you're able to get off the ground running. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you what they need. You start working and then refine your plan to go forward. Yes, I have a bit of anxiety because I am excited about being mayor of this city. I'm excited about working with the people of this city. Everybody gets a little excited. Everybody gets moving. And if you think that me voicing to in a private conversation that I have a little bit of anxiety about a very big debate is me folding, then you don't know me. You don't know how I operate, and you've never seen me under pressure. So I invite you to watch what happens when I'm elected mayor. Thank you.
All right, look, so I won't promise perfection, but I will promise passion. I'll fight for you with the energy of a raccoon in a 24-hour garbage buffet, okay? And if you vote for me, I won't just be your mayor. I'll be your chaos curator. I will be your vibe manager. I'll be your slightly unhinged, occasionally useful government certified best friend. So don't be a maybe. Vote for your baby. I'm Sharayu, and this is my candidacy.
I'm Dominic DiMaggio. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your ear. And I would appreciate your vote. Let's get this shit cleaned up.
Thank you for your time for listening to the debate and hearing where we stand. I believe that having a plan and having an understanding of the necessities of our city is important. I believe I bring that and a passion that I think will help this city move forward. Thank you, and please vote Dexter Cherry.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, guys, that's going to wrap us up for the debate. I thank you all for spending your time with us. You could be anywhere in the world, but you choose to be with us, and we appreciate that. I'd like to thank Rosie for coming up with questions and co-forming. And most of all, I'd like to thank the candidates up here. I think you guys did a great job, and I think the city learned a lot about you tonight. The polls will be open at our beautiful, beautiful city hall. And that is Postal 143. And for everybody here at Weazel News, we love you, we thank you, and good night.